my parents, Asian parents, they would feel an engineer, stable job, right? So I did it and went to McGill for my undergrad. And it was 4 years of my, one of the, probably the most painful 4 years of my life,
Mhm.
right? The material got very difficult. And every Christmas, I did not have a single good Christmas because I was always worried about failing a class. Thermodynamics, fluid mechanics, partial differential equations. Oh, that class I failed. Yes, only class I failed, but my GPA was not very good. I struggled through a lot of classes, and but still, I thought that I did not work hard enough. And then when I got a job, right, I worked as a flight simulator engineer, a software engineer. So basically, the flight simulators, they train pilots, right? They train pilots, and I worked at the company and for 2 years, and that was enough. It was so frustrating. I couldn't solve the problems. It's just full of stress. I was not good at it. And gradually, the frustrations, the anger, the resentment just builds, 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 builds. And one day, it breaks the threshold. I was like, that's enough. I need to change.
And you were there for 2 years?
For 2 years,
So that's
and
that's 6 years of hanging in there, like, almost lying to yourself that you're not in as much pain as you are, and that if you just try harder, you'll figure it out.
but here's the thing. It's hard to say lying because I was genuinely not sure, right? It takes trial and error, to figure things out, right?
Mhm.
And sometimes, if you think about it, when we were 18 years old, we're gonna pick a major and it's gonna be the thing that we're gonna love for the rest of our life. The
Which is just
probability,
crazy thing to
it,
ask of 18-year-olds.
exactly, is very low. After going through society, after going through sufferings, doing the things that I don't love, I start to realize what I truly love. I start to reflect and realize. So, if this kind of stuff gives me pain and suffering, then what kind of stuff would make me happy? I start to remember, I start to memorize, I start to analyze. Of course, learning, reading, meeting different people. Now there's YouTube, and also there's a lot of information that you can learn. So this continuous self-learning and self-reflection made me, and also this I was not happy, right? I was not. I cannot. I have some ambitions, right? I don't want to live a life like this, a mediocre life, or just do something you don't love, get a job, get married, have kids, and then retire and die. This is not the kind of life I want. I want to live, right?
How did you know that it was possible to be happier? Because I know in periods of my life where I was not happy, I sort of assumed that everybody else felt the same way, but that they were better at dealing with it than I was.
What do you mean? How do you know that they are the
I guess I didn't know. I just assumed that life is suffering and other people have just found a better strategy to suffer through the suffering, and I need to just hang in there, kind of.
I think the opposite. I think most people are just hanging in there. Most people in the world are not doing a job they love. Most people in the world do not like their job. They are just making a living. They are just becoming like this huge machine of society. They are like a little screw or bolt. Everybody is doing that little bit and just, being driven, being forced by society to function. Because if you don't work, right, you're not going to have the money to pay rent. You're not going to have money to pay food. You cannot get married. You cannot have kids, right? So people are forced to move forward, and there's family pressure, right? There's peer pressure. There's all kinds of pressure. So to break away from all those pressure, to be rebellious, it takes rebellion, it takes courage, right? It takes rebellion, it takes courage. I just don't want to live. There's no hope. I'm unhappy. I want to be happy. I want to live a happy life. It's that
I
simple. So
feel like
where's my way
you're a
out?
pretty unique person in that you
Mm.
saw past those things that you were supposed to want. You were supposed to want a stable job with money and with predictability, and also being an engineer can be kind of an ego thing that you have a fancy job as an engineer. But
But
I feel
nobody
like,
cares.
yeah, nobody
In fact,
cares.
honestly, when people ask me, I meet people, what do you do? Mechanical engineering. Oh, that's it. Nobody cares. As nobody cares if you're an engineer. No, how many engineers there are? Millions, millions of engineers around the world, right? A great musician like Taylor Swift, right? There's only one.
The
Mozart, there's
best
only one,
musician.
right?
Mozart, Taylor Swift, yeah.
No, but I'm saying that musicians, we need all those musicians. I don't think it's fair to compare, Mozart is and or Taylor Swift, who is better. There's no point. John Cage and Rachmaninoff, who is better? We cannot compare because they're different genres. They all create amazing music to the world. For me, the greatest musician is Ryuichi Sakamoto. Right in my heart, Ryuichi Sakamoto is greater than Mozart, for sure.
Thank you for watching The Practice Room. Please remember to like, subscribe, and comment. Also, contact me on Instagram or my website if you would like to be a guest or would like to suggest a guest. Links in the description. Thank you.